All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. We're more than halfway through the regular season in the NBA, and we've got a feel as to who the contenders are for the NBA championship. And with the trade deadline several days away, the time is now for teams that have championship aspirations to go out there and pick up reinforcements. But I'm here right now to talk about the Denver Nuggets, who, after winning the NBA title for the first time in franchise history last June, they've just, in my opinion, gone quietly about their business so far this season. Nuggets are currently 35 and 16, which is coming into play today, fourth in the Western Conference, but they're only a half game behind both the Oklahoma City Thunder and Minnesota Timberwolves for the top spot in the West. Now, it hasn't been flashy for Denver as they really haven't had that elongated or those elongated wing streaks as it's just, a workmanlike approach. They've just been going out there, taking care of their business while also taking everybody's best shot as the defending champs. And with just over a little bit more than 30 games left for the Nuggets in the regular season, to me, they're in prime position to go out there in the spring and defend their crown. Now, when you think about the Denver Nuggets, it all starts with the big man. And Nikola Jokic continues to be Nikola Jokic. He's averaging more than 26 points per game, more than 12 rebounds, 5 assists, and on the season so far, he's had 15 triple doubles. It's not just about Jokic with the Nuggets. As you look at the guys around him, most notably in the starting five, you got Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and of course KCP. And Jamal Murray, I think to the people in Denver, is really appreciated. And I think Jamal Murray to a basketball fan is really appreciated. But I think to the casual fan, I don't think they really appreciate how good that Jamal Murray is and what he brings to this team. The athleticism of Aaron Gordon. We know what Michael Porter Jr. can do as another scorer. And then the grittiness and toughness and the perimeter defense of one Contavious Caldwell Pope they were all important elements to the championship team last year for Denver. And this group is picked up right where they left off from. You got Reggie Jackson, a proven scorer off of the bench, along with Christian Braun, a youngster who is really coming into his own with this team. And I think when you look at this Nuggets team, it's all about that unselfish brand of basketball. It continues to be their theme. Denver is fourth in the NBA in assists so far this season. And when you think about the Nuggets and you think about Jokic, of course, as a front man for this team, if you will, you think about what they can do at the offensive end of the floor. But it's not just about offense for the Nuggets. Coming into play today, they were fourth in the NBA in points allowed, while also being top 10 as far as opponents' field goal percentage. And that right there is a credit to their head coach, Mike Malone. And I think, I don't think enough credit is given to Mike Malone because obviously winning a championship is not easy. And of course, you deserve a ton of credit for winning a championship. But to come back and once again have your finger on the pulse of a team after a championship is easier said than done because, you know, sometimes it can be tough for guys to once again have that motivation like they did when it came to winning that championship. But honestly, from what I've seen so far this season for the Nuggets, in my opinion, right now they look to be hungrier this year compared to this time last year. It's like they've been able to reach that mountaintop. They've been, no pun intended, because they're playing in Denver, but they've tasted championship gold and now they want to go back. And of course, when you think about repeating, it's a rare air because there's only been so many teams that have been able to do it. I know it's been done, multiple times in the NBA. The Chicago Bulls did it a couple of times as three-peats. The Lakers had their repeats. The Boston Celtics of the 1960s, of course. The Golden State Warriors recently, and the Miami Heat recently. Kobe's Lakers, Shaq's Lakers. But nonetheless, it's still something that's not easy to do. And the Nuggets, don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting up here ready to crown them champions for this year. Don't get me wrong, but they are putting themselves in a good position to go back there, and then the hunger to try to go back and get it again. I think that is a testament once again to their head coach. They've got a solid chance of running it back. They've been protecting their home court. They're 21-4 at home so far this season, and I think everybody's bought in for this team. And it's important because you look at their salary situation going forward, and of course, with the stiffer luxury tax, that is kicking in now for the NBA, it's not going to be as easy for them as well as other contenders to keep their squads together. But nonetheless, I'm looking at this team right now. They were all in last year for Mike Malone, and I think that's something he preached once again for the squad heading into this season. And so far, so good. Denver, to me, with what they have, as long as they're able to stay healthy, because we saw a couple of years ago the importance of not having Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray in the playoffs, what that meant for the Denver Nuggets. And then, of course, last year we saw how important it was and vital for them in their championship drive. But nonetheless, I think with Denver, if this squad can stay healthy, they are once again going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Western Conference. You look at it, and you look at the top of the West. You, like I said, you've got OKC and Minnesota tied there. I think, in my opinion, right now, Denver beats them in a 7-game series. I just think OKC's young and they're inexperienced, and of course, they don't have anybody that's going to stop that big man in the middle. And I'm talking about Nikola Jokic. And of course, when you think about Nikola Jokic, it's not just about his points; it's about his passing, because Jokic could have only 15 points in a game, but the Nuggets can still win because you're talking about a guy who'll have 12 rebounds and who'll have 12 or 13 assists. And those rebounds, especially at the offensive end, or his rebounds in general, because he'll get a defensive rebound before you blink. He's getting it to a Jamal Murray. He's getting it to a Michael Porter Jr. for, a scoring opportunity for the Nuggets. Then, of course, at the offensive end, he gets the ball back. He kicks it out. He could do so many things with his passing from the post. So, he's so difficult to stop. And I don't think the Thunder have somebody for him. You look at the Minnesota Timberwolves, they have the size, but we saw how this Nuggets team went through the Timberwolves rather last year in the postseason, and I just don't see the Nuggets having the Timberwolves rather having the grit to get by them. The Clippers would be a very interesting series for the Nuggets if both of those teams are healthy, just due to the fact that what the Clippers do have the perimeter defenders. The Nuggets, like I said, one of the best starting fives in the NBA. It would be interesting, and I would like to see if they can get themselves a another body, another player, if you would, uh, just prior to the trade deadline, somebody who can come in and have an impact, and somebody who can help to give them additional bench depth. You don't want to have a 12, 15 guy deep bench, don't get me wrong, but just to have more depth for head coach Michael Malone heading into the postseason. But nonetheless, the biggest thing with the Nuggets right now is just staying healthy, just staying the course. I think Denver is going to win. It's all said and done. They're going to be a top 4 team in the West. But I think when it's all said and done, even if they're not the top team, top seed like they were last year, I think their championship medal at this point would give them an edge come postseason time. So credit to the Nuggets. They have not rested on their laurels after breaking through as a championship team. And it looks like right now they're all in. And like I said, if the Nuggets can stay healthy coming down the stretch and into the postseason, they are once again going to be a force to be reckoned with come playoff time. So, folks, that's going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now, you can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.